you've all got like quite a bear family going on. Why did you choose the name Bears in Trees? Because it's quite an individual name.
You know what, it is, and we wish there was a better story behind it.
Yeah.
But we were struggling to come up with a name for a really long time, and as you do, you resort to a band name generator.
Okay.
We went through a few, and eventually it came up with Bears in Submarines.
Yeah.
And we thought that was the most hilarious name we've ever seen ever. It was just the most stupid name. So we all made fun of Bears in Submarines
by just listing other ones.
For about half an hour.
Bears in submarines, bears in buses, bears in New Zealand, bears in trees.
And then someone said bears in trees. I think George said bears in trees.
I'm going to take credit for that.
And then we were like, actually, that's absolute genius. We've just struck gold.
That's actually a very good name. Yeah.
You refer to yourselves as like a British dirtbag boyfriend, which is quite self-deprecating actually. But can you explain why you refer to yourselves as a dirtbag boy band?
Yeah. So it is on me. First, Ian has to explain the term dirtbag as we understand it.
So I'm a rock climber. I love rock climbing, and me and my friends are very into the rock climb culture. And there's this thing in rock climb culture where you kind of just give up on society and you go live in a van and just climb all the time, and that's all you do. And they're called dirtbags. They're held up to like very high esteem. Everyone loves dirtbags. Everyone wants to be a dirtbag, and it's just this kind of like endearing term. It sounds a bit like, oh, why would you call yourself a dirtbag? But at the end of the day, it's like, it's just a bit fun. It's like you're not taking yourself seriously.
Yeah.
You're just living for the moment. You're living for, you're living your ultimate life as much as possible without, maybe less showering than you should, but and then.
So yeah, we're dirtbags in that sense, and the boy band is, I think, just kind of funny because basically we had a lot of trouble working out what genre we wanted to call ourselves, and we had a lot of trouble with people telling us what we were and telling us what we couldn't be. And the best way to annoy those people is calling yourselves a boy band.
Yeah.
We're saying like, oh, you can't be this artist, you can't be this, and it's just like, well, we're a boy band then.
Yeah.
Screw you. We'll make whatever music we want. Be a dirtbag boy band.
Yeah.
Genre is dead.
Okay. So you kind of like reinvented your own you've kind of given yourself your own name in a way then, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
We kind of didn't fit in anywhere else because we kind of got called like pop punk a bit and indie pop and everywhere else, and we kind of don't really fit into any of them, so we thought rather than try and fit into one, we'll
be ourselves.
Give us
ourselves a random name that we think is fun.
Like having listened to your songs like Ibuprofen and Seaside and Reverberate and like Ramblings of a Lunatic. Could you talk about the style that you're trying to create in your music?
Trying to particularly create a style. I get what you mean. There are negative connotations of the term boy band, but I think we don't really want to have to submit to what other people think of us, because we spent a lot of time in life being kind of, during our adolescence, being put down by our peers and people in our schools and all this kind of stuff. And then when you grow up, you kind of like music, and people say, oh, that's not good music, or that's not music enough. And it's just like, well, actually, we'll just make music that we enjoy, that we find nice. We don't really care what other people think of us. And that's why I think the term boy band is quite fun, because it's like, well, why should we care what other people say is correct and incorrect ways of making music, making art and stuff like that. What kind of sound we're trying to go for, again, we're not trying to go for any sound other than the culmination of our four minds.
I think we all come from quite different sort of musical tastes and backgrounds, so our sound is and that's partly why it doesn't fit into a genre, maybe, is that we're just drawing upon
a big amalgamation of all of the music we listen to.
Can you explain your creative process or anything like that, or what you're aiming to create in your songs or your videos, perhaps?
So the music normally comes from, so me and Nick will write a set of lyrics based on something that's happened or how we feel, or kind of narratives that we experience in life. I think we draw a lot of inspiration from a lot of different lyricists that were quite impactful in our teenagers, and then we bring those to the group. And then, kind of separate from the lyrics, we'll develop just fun pop songs or kind of deep indie kind of emo songs. Yeah, I don't know. Someone else.
I mean, Ibuprofen was originally you played it to us on ukulele. And
yeah, it was a completely different song.
It was like super soft, like kind of folky, super chirpy, and we were like, "That's really nice. How can we make it
completely different?"
Yeah, but the same.
Yeah.
I think we just didn't have enough dance songs at that point. Yeah, George was like, I want to make another song that we can dance to.
Well, like you kind of you bring the ideas, the initial ideas, and then we kind of, as a band, we all develop them and just kind of see what direction, because we all have different ideas and direction they should go.
You take like a spark of an idea from something that's happened, and then everyone sees it in a slightly different way, and then we build this kind of whole world around an event that's happened based on lyrics, musicality, everything.
I've noticed in your lyrics you kind of go from sort of very sort of meaningful kind of lyrics, like I continue to unpick my tragic disposition. Could I be authentically happy? No need for these incisions. Especially in something like Reverberate, which is incredibly like metaphorical in a sense. Like you've got mentions of like synapses and the monsters underneath.
Two are lyrics by Ian.
I wrote
It Gets Better was a lyric by Nick.
So what's great about having two lyricists is you bring different things to the table. We inspired by similar things, but we want to do different things with our lyrics often. Do you want to speak on lyrics a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, we've spoken about this before because Ian tends to be more kind of metaphorical, abstract, like using like wordplay and the rhythm to kind of explain a story. Whereas I think because I've always been more like of a narrative-y kind of person, I prefer the more like, I studied English at uni, and I guess it makes sense, like the prose and the kind of story and I guess the flow of a piece of like any lyrics.
Yeah,
it's nice because we complement each other.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think, as you pointed out, it means that you kind of get both of those worlds in our songs, which is really
there's abstract expressions to the really down to earth ones. Yeah.
So your Instagram, you listed all of your influences, which I found is like an essay worth of. It started with Dodie, the 1975, All Time Low, My Chemical Romance, Fall Out Boy. Do you just wake up each morning and like do a shopping list of everyone that you?
I was just on my phone trying to, like, there are so many artists I missed too, because you can never capture it. It was just the biggest ones that popped into my head at the time, I suppose, of like who I can think of has molded our sound in a way.
Yeah. What I think is interesting is because you both studied a music subject. You did music production, you did music, right? And me and Nick have also, we're all just so impacted by a lot of music.
Yeah.
Music itself has been so important to all of our lives.
Yeah.
I think, being influenced by such a small section of music just could never happen to us, because music in all its varieties, in all its sounds, has been impacted how we perceive the world and how we want to make music and make art.
I think what I found interesting actually about the Instagram post is, well, Nick manages most of the social media, so we see the post at the same time, but everyone else in the world. I read through the artist, and obviously some I'm like, yes, love the artist, but actually we all have such different music tastes. Yeah. There's only like a few artists that we all share, but we all love equally. A lot is like, I love a lot of music that everyone listens to, but I wouldn't say like that Ian's favourite band is the same as my favourite band. So seeing all the list is like, some I'm like, oh yeah, totally vibe with them. Some I'm like, oh, that's definitely a Nick choice. Oh, that's an Ian artist. And they kind of all come together to form this kind of bear band.
I noticed you started posting these things called like Fit Wednesdays or something, Fit Pick Wednesdays, where you display your clothing tastes. Do you find that your fans are quite a big part of sort of what you post and what you put out there, for example?
Yeah, it was funny, like the other day we got a message on Instagram I saw that said, oh, I've just discovered your music, I really love it, but they also said how much like they love that, like they were really interested in basically the way we styled ourselves, like individually as well as a band, and I think that's quite an important part of like our branding and kind of who we are.
Yeah, because we dress how we dress because we want to dress in a way to express yourselves. Clothes is a fashion, is a way to express yourself on kind of outwardly, and we do that because we want to. And I mean, we realised that fans started to pick up on what we were wearing, and they're like, I know that top, Ian always wears that top, or wears that, and so actually we thought, if the fans enjoy it and we love kind of talking about it and wearing it, it makes sense to kind of post it. And
we're individuals who make a band. I think each of us have quite strong personalities that we're very into expressing ourselves, and I think that's what people like, the fact that we're not a single entity. We're a group of friends first and foremost, and you can see that in our individuality and also how much we like care about each other and support each other. But also I think, going off what you said, we have a very good community, and we're very happy with the community we have that we've been able to build. I feel like creating a community is really important to us, to give a lot of lonely or maybe like misfit kids a place where they can call, you know,
home.
Have a circle, have a community, have a culture.
We always try and kind of include our fans. I know it's really generic to say like, oh, we wouldn't be here without our fans. Like, we would just be playing to an empty room. So it's important.
Have you got an album or a new EP coming out soon?
Oh, you are right. Yeah, we do.
Okay.
We do have another EP coming out. It's coming out with the final single next Friday. Is there a name and everything out? It's Keep Me Safe.
Keep Me Safe. I've noticed that on your Instagram actually. So yeah.
And it's the kind of reflection of the last EP that we released earlier this year, which was I Want to Feel Chaotic.
Yeah, I also noticed that theme is in like coming to terms with the worst parts of yourselves or something like that, which was quite dramatic in a way, but interesting. Have you come to terms with the worst parts of yourselves as a boy band? Or?
That's an ongoing process.
Always trying to.
Yeah.
You've probably noticed we kind of do it in eras. So kind of for the first half of the year we were in the I Want to Feel Chaotic era, and then we kind of reached Keep Me Safe, which is released next Friday. And they kind of feel like a bit like antidotes to each other.
Yeah.
We kind of thought that it would go, I want to feel chaotic, keep me safe. Kind of fits as a sentence, maybe.
Like one's kind of the answer to the other one, and this is kind of this is a more sort of uplifting and like kind of getting better.
Of looking on your Instagram and you've got quite big on TikTok. You have quite this kind of like fun kind of vibe to you. Like I've never sort of seen any group of people be constantly like dancing around, or you're constantly posting videos of yourselves like dancing around and dressing each other up and things like that. Are there ever any days where you aren't, like, for example, feeling so fun loving, or are there any days where you're like just feeling a bit mundane, for example? I don't know.
All the time. I mean, everyone has those days.
Yeah.
But it's kind of just trying to see the fun side of things and trying to stay positive.
We tend to be, I mean, first and foremost, we are friends, so essentially every time we come to rehearsal or we come to record, it's just a day to hang out with 3 of your best mates. So it's pretty much the best job in the world.
Yeah.
Although we don't do it full time, so it's not quite a job yet, but we're getting there. And so obviously we always have those days where perhaps, we have we have to have discussions and we have to make so many decisions that sometimes, you do have down days. But obviously, I guess the way it is with social media, you don't necessarily post about those days.
Definitely. I think like social media is what we do, not who we are.
Yeah.
The band is the band, and then we as individuals are
individuals.
Yeah.
We have ups and downs and all this kind of stuff. But I do think that there's also this kind of a lot of indie bands. They're trying to be cool and they're trying to be edgy, and they want to be. Everyone take them really seriously, and I don't think we want that. We want to have fun.
We're not afraid to poke holes in things and
just be ourselves and just laugh ourselves and have fun.
I mean, I've really enjoyed that in your videos, like for example, like Seaside, and I'm not sure. I noticed that you have quite a good rapport with each other, which is nice. As in, like, you hang out a lot, or it seems like you do. I don't know the reality, but
we went on a weekend away to the beach, and just we were like, we could film a music video, and we just filmed the whole trip, and that became the music video.
We were just hanging out at the beach, going paddling.
You refer to your fans as sandboxes. So you're bears in trees that own sandboxes. Is that right? Can you explain the meaning of the term sandboxes, if that's okay?
Yeah. We have a song.
Quite an old song.
Yeah, quite an old song. And in it has a it's called the Sandbox One, and in a reference it kind of just has a reference to I'm sitting in this sandbox.
Of course, you say you're
you're a sandbox.
You and Ian almost scream at each other. You're a sandbox.
Yeah. Sandbox, you're a sandbox. And the kind of point of it was to like have this idea. It was a metaphor for like sand getting everywhere and memories like getting all over your being and not being able to escape bad memories, but also not being able to escape good memories and needing them, and etc., etc., etc. But it was the fact that we just shouted, "You're a sandbox," at one another, which was quite fun, and we just called our fans sandboxes because.
I don't think actually it was us who made the name up. I think we did a tweet a few years ago, which was like, fandom name, the best one wins, and the best one the sandboxes, and it was just there.
So associated with boy bands are things like different personalities, different characteristics. Like, do you define yourselves as having different like personalities or things that appeal to different fans? As in, like, I don't know, the smart one, the cute one, that kind of thing. Or have you discussed what roles you play within?
I think we do definitely play different roles and different fans
I don't know
pick
that
up on
we've
different
ever
roles,
discussed
but
it.
it's not intentional. It's entirely inadvertent.
Yeah.
It's just who we are.
It's just who we are as people. We just managed to fulfill the spectrum of human experience somehow.
I guess because you kind of touched on the fact that it's not your full-time job. Like, what do you do when you aren't being a bear in a tree? Like, what do you do when you're being a human, for example?
Just down that side.
Yeah, so I finished uni in July.
Yeah.
And obviously it's the pandemic, so I've been doing the band, and then next year I'll be a teaching assistant who is also doing the band, and hopefully the year after that I'll be a band member who is just in a band. Yeah.
I work in various mental health roles.
Okay.
Practitioners.
I'm currently doing a master's in music therapy.
And I am a freelance audio engineer and music producer.
Is there anything that you wanted to like discuss, for example, or anything that I've like necessarily missed out on? I don't know.
No,
I can't think of anything.
The main thing obviously is the EP that's coming out.
Yeah, we've got an EP coming out. It's called Keep Me Safe.
Keep Me Safe. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
It's out on the 11th.
Yeah.
11th.
It's called Laugh/Cry.
Okay.
And kind of it was I wrote a bunch of lyrics on a Google document, and it was not a solid song. It was just a few selections of lyrics that I was kind of came up with walking between university and home, and it was coming through a period of time in which I was experiencing a lot of dissociation. I was feeling quite isolated. I was living in a very different part of a city to a lot of my mates. I was living at university at the time. And I was kind of in my housing environment where I was living was kind of a couple dodgy friendships, and basically I was kind of getting very much in my own head, and so I was just spewing out strange lyrics left, right and centre into this single Google document. Then fast forward about a year, Callum just says, I saw that you had a bunch of lyrics that just hadn't gone anywhere in this Google document. So I wrote a song to it, and like it was quite interesting because it took Callum managed to take a bunch of lyrics that to me felt completely disconnected, but obviously they came up with in the same period of time, and managed to create a whole story, a whole narrative, sonically a whole kind of journey through it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's the perfect song to end a year on. It really feels very profound, nostalgic as well. But also, it really, I think, demonstrates it almost perfectly wraps up everything that we've done so far, including prior to this year.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the end of the song?
Yeah. So we've been a band for like 6 years.
Yeah.
We started when we were 17. So the
Terrifying.
So the end of the song includes references to kind of like every year we've had as a band from like our very first songs that like only the really hardcore fans know.
Yeah, I don't even think the hardcore fans will know some of the songs like the first song in there.
Yeah, but it's really
kind
nice.
of like looking back over.
Yeah, and like I think closing that chapter almost, because it's definitely felt like that this has been like the 6 years have been our start basically, and the next 6 years are going to be our like our biggest main glory years, I suppose. I don't know. Golden years.
Across campus, online, and on 12:51 AM. This is your student radio station.